Good evening, guys. Today we're gonna look into topic called object repository. So let me explain you like this kind of concept why it comes to the picture. So far we are going with UI selectors. Selectors are sometimes it used to be buggy. So sometimes we may have to change the selectors like here and there. So there could be if there can be a central place where we can fix all the selectors and continuing for the wherever we use those selectors. So that when that comes to the picture, UiPath decided to launch a product called object repository. As name says here, it's a repository where it used to store the objects. So these objects are nothing but our UI elements. So it can be top level container, it can be uh, partial selector, or it can be full selector. So whatever the things we are storing as an object into a repository, that's our object repository. So this is all about basic thing I just explore through. So the same thing here which I explained so far. So what is object repository? As name is, it is saying that it's a repository for objects. So our object is nothing but UI elements here. These elements can be partial or full selectors. So overall, each object is nothing but our selector. Okay, UI elements by capturing them as objects in a DOM like repository and shared across the project. So DOM like repository I'll be showing you in the UiPath studio. There you can easily get to know like what is DOM tree kind of structure. So we'll be explaining more details once we get through. So before getting into the object repository, we must have couple of things as a prerequisites. Okay, so these prerequisites, when it comes to the managing packages, these are the packages. It must be having UI automation or mobile automation. Why? Because these objects are basically selectors. So selectors we will be getting in over desktop, web or mobile automation only. So that's the reason these two packages can like allowed for a robot to get the object repository. So then once we have these packages in our studio, there is one more thing we need to configure. So when if we wanted to make our project to be object repository storage, so we need to enable the modern design experience in project. So that will give full control of object repository for the project. So sometimes we feel that we may have to use it for the all the projects which we supposed to create in future. So there is a toggle button in the studio settings itself. There we can go and we can enable it. So I will be showing you now. I'll be showing you now like where you can see that those options. So this is my studio. So the very first one which I was showing here, our UiPath automation or mobile automation. So this demo I am only presenting with UI automation. See, you can see UI automation. The version is which I am using is version 20.10.9, which is above the criteria which we discussed in the PPT. Okay. Similarly with mobile automation. Then the next option we need to configure is modern design experience in the project level. So let me show you that. So here we need to go to the project settings. Here we have option called modern design experience. As soon as we enable or disable, the robot will ask to reload the project. So let me do that for you guys. I already did it on. So it is asking user to reload. So as soon as we reload, the objects you can see on the screen will be vanished in the object repository. The same thing which I was telling about studio, I will be showing in next moment. So you can see there is nothing in the object repository. In order to enable this one, again we need to go project settings, which we can go from there itself. So here we will be having option called modern design experience, which we need to enable just to maintain in the project level control. So I'm just again reloading whatever dependencies I have, whatever object repository I'm having, I'll be getting in this place. And also if we go to settings, we have option called use modern for new projects. So once we enable, we need to restart the we need to restart the studio. So whatever the projects from now till whatever till it is enabled, all those projects will be enabled modern design experience. This is at global level. So we don't have to go for each and every project, and we don't have to enable there in if we enable it here. And also there is an option called object repository enforced. So if we toggle this one, this will only enable when we use modern behavior with for the new projects. When we enable this one, we will be getting this option to do anything. So when we disable, we won't be having option to do anything. So object repository enforced is nothing but we are forcefully telling to the system that use object repository objects only in order to go further in the automations. Okay, that is all about this one. Let me quickly jump to there where we stopped. So this is all about object repository enforcement and modern design, use modern for new projects in the studio level. So these are the prerequisites we need to have before. So coming to the key features. So here I listed couple of features with the object repository having UI elements. So coming to the UI elements, our objects here. So these objects can be managed, updated, modified easily. Why? Because it is located in the central place. So these elements can be easily configured and view all UI activities inside the process by using UI activity tab inside object repository panel. So as the concept is saying, as the key point is saying, that we have option UI activities tab here. So all the UI activities will be listed here in our project. So if you may have n number of activities, n number of UI element activities we will be having in our project. All the activities, all the things we can see it at one place, which is nothing but our UI activities panel in the object repository. And descriptors, we will be having brief knowledge about this one in next slides. So that is all about this one. And quickly capture elements that need in our automation with the capture element wizard. So we have a capture element wizard in our this is the option actually. So this record symbol, if we do this, it will capture the things on the screen. So I am clicking here. So it functions similar like a recording option in our studio, but I will be showing in details when we go for the next slides. Okay, so this is the option I'm describing here. So quickly capture wizard, we have that. From that we can capture all the elements. So then increasing the selector reliability. So increasing the selector reliability, this will be, we used to face issue with the selectors occasionally. So in order to overcome that, we need to go for anchors. So anchors will help us if the selectors are varying dynamically. So this object repository is having built-in feature of capturing the anchor along with the target. Okay, so and then we have an option called drag and drop elements from the object panel. So these are the selectors. So these all are selectors of our application. So each one is nothing but one of the object and a selector. So these selectors we can drag and we can drop, and we can use it whenever we require those selectors. So we'll show you when we get through. So then this is the feature, this is the key feature for that. And objects are reusable across the projects when we packed as libraries. So in like how we use library as reusable component in other projects, so objects also can be reused by packing into libraries. Okay, this is all about that one. Here we used to hear couple of words as keys. So we need to use those names on regular things like UI descriptors, which is nothing but our superset of selectors, and then UI element, which is an object for us, and here we need to call it as object, which is nothing but a selector. It can be full or partial or anchor selector, anything. It can be image selector as well. So when it comes to screens, so we may have n number of applications in our requirement. For example, we may have to use Acme website, or we may have to use gmail.com, anything we may have to use. All those screens are nothing but our use browser or use application activities. So for those containers we need to go with the screens. So then UI applications. So when we need to publish or when we need to reuse, we need to keep all these screens and elements in one particular thing called application. So this application will be having versions. So based on these versions, we can reuse in future wherever we come across through the projects. So when we publish it as a library, all the elements encapsulated into application, and based on the version, the elements or objects used to come. So coming to the structure here, so this entire object repository looks like a tree structure. So tree in the sense we will be having nodes here. So this is the hierarchy. There will be a top level thing called application, where application will be having a name, and along with that we will be having a version. So in that version we can define it n number of versions. So that inside the version, each version will be having screen. So screens can be multiple, depends on our number of use browser or use application screens. So then elements, we can have a number of elements onto the screen. So repositories can be published in two locations. One can be local repository and UI libraries. So when we publish in the local library, or which is nothing but project UI descriptors, so we can use it inside the project only. Whenever we wanted to use in the project level in another workflow, we can reuse these things. So when we wanted to use across the projects, like if I wanted to share the object repository like objects with my colleagues for other projects, I can target this as a project library, and I can give the dependency to him so that he can use in the future for his projects. So this way we will be having a central place where we can change if anything needs to be updated. For example, let me take Acme website only. It was not looking like how it is looking now. So if you see, they have added couple of more fields here. Last year these many fields they don't have. So for example, if they change the positions or if they change the names, we may have to change each and every project which we use so far. So this can be easily come across through we can easily achieve this problem with the object repository, where we can change in the UI library and publish it as new version. We can reuse that version in all across the projects wherever we used. Yeah, this is that one. So local repository is for using local purpose, and libraries are for the all across the projects. So coming to this one, creating a repository. So this is the main thing here in the entire object repository. So object repository, when we right click on it, we will be getting couple of options. So we can create UI application. Inside the application we can create a screen. Screen is nothing but what application attached applications or attached browsers we are using, which is nothing but our container. Then creating UI elements. UI elements are our full or partial selectors, and using the recorders we can also capture the objects. Like similarly, which I have shown you, capture element. From there we can capture everything from UI application to elements. Then we can add elements from activity to the repository, and this is nothing but if we miss to record or if we miss to create at first instant, we can also add elements in between and using the objects in current projects. Okay, I will be showing how to create an application and screen element everything with the recorder as well. So let me jump on to next slide. So here the create element, capture element. This capture element is nothing but our recording option. So this recording button will capture the things into the object repository as a object. So the object repository has a built-in technology called unified target, where selector will be accurately captured with the following details: selector, fuzzy selector and image selector. So all these selectors will be captured. If we wish to use all the things, we can enable it and we can use it. And also there is the accuracy as well. Like fuzzy selector, this is the reason fuzzy selector came into the picture. Earlier selector used to match accurately. So in order to overcome that particular issue, if the selector is matched 50% or 80%, so that can be configured in fuzzy selector. So this object repository, using this unified target, we can give 50% accuracy to image and 70% accuracy to the fuzzy selector and 100% accuracy to the selector. So we can change it however we would like to. Then coming to the edit descriptors. Here we have two things. the like how we can change the selectors manually and with the live element. So this is also same thing, online changing the descriptor when we connect it to the browser, or when we are in the same machine, we can update the descriptor using the live element on the screen, so offline. So we may have to, if in case if we are not connected to the internet, or if we are not in the same machine, so we can change the descriptors by updating the offline, which is nothing but we open the like how we open selector in what do we say, UI Explorer, and we can update it from there. That is how we can do. And also there is an option called passing the variable into selector, like how we do in a regular selector. Then there is an option called resolve UI descriptors. So this usually there is a technology inside the object repository. If there is a selector which is already stored as an object in the object panel, so if we wanted to use the same selector in the project, it will push us a pop-up saying that you wanted to reuse the same element which is there in your repository, or you would like to go with new kind of option we'll be getting. So that is all about this one, reuse and don't use. Then reusing the objects and UI libraries. Starting from the library, I will be showing this one all the steps in while publishing the library. So we need to start a library, and we need to extract library, publish library, and load UI elements into projects, upgrade application and process selectors, checking into object repository, which is under comes under version controlling, and add to the snippet and copy paste objects and find references. So benefits. So as we discussed so far, we have covered all the benefits in the first in a few slides which we come across through. So here also we are seeing the same. Object repository acts like UI API for our applications like desktop or web or mobile, can be reused elsewhere. We can use it within minutes. Like if I can provide this particular package to my colleague, so he can go to that particular nugget file, and he can install in his studio, and he can reuse for his projects. So can make selectors more reliable using anchors. So since we have built in things like the anchors will and image selectors also will be advantage to the selector. So we can also use fuzzy selectors here. So selectors are easy to maintain because all UI elements are located in object repository. If we want to change any selector details which may change in future, so we can change it, and we can publish, and we can reuse that particular library. So object will be replaced with the selector which we used in old projects, so that it will be easy job for us to to change in projects which were old dated. So for this testing purpose, I have used ACME website. Okay, so let me create a new process. So I would like to name it as automation object repository demo. So would like to store in a project folder. Here I would like to create a folder like demo, so I would like to use inside, and this is a demo project process. I'm gonna create it. So as we were discussing prerequisites, we need to do at first instant as soon as it got created. And for this demo, I would like to take in the project level. You can try with studio level as well. So I'm gonna check and what and all dependencies I'm having here. So Excel, I'm not gonna use Excel activities, and I'm not gonna use mail activities as well. So for me, the main criteria is I need to use about 20.10.0 version. So it is already there. I would like to go with the same. This is the primary thing. Then about modern behavior, we need to enable that as well. So for that we need to go to the project settings here, and here we have an option called toggle option. Like we need to enable this one. As soon as we do, it will ask for a reload. it is reloading and the objects are getting added here. So if at all if we have libraries will come and will be there in the UI libraries. If we don't have any libraries, so it will be an empty, and at first instant there won't be anything, any project descriptors. So I would like to publish it. So here I would like to use browser, use application or browser. I wanted to continue with the same thing. So here we have an option called, bringing it from the object repository. At first instant there is nothing to, enable. So as soon as we click this one, it will create object repository for it. So it is asking us to, give an application name before proceeding further. So application is the one which we published as a package. So application will be having versions. So to do that, we have an option called quick add. So here we can add the application name. So I would like to say testing object repository. So I would like to name this one. Version is this one. At first, the default version I'm gonna take, and optional thing is description. I'm gonna create application. As soon as I create this got vanished because there is an application for this. Okay, then I would like to finish this. So as soon as we do this, the objects will be saved here. So these objects will be here, and I can see if I use the objects, it will be coming this way. So in this I would like to, once once we are in this, I would like to check element exist. So I will be using this one. So they have changed a couple of things. Explore UI tree. Okay, here I would like to click on an element saying that I would like to use click, and this click I would like to click on work items at first. So this is the work item. I would like to take this work item, and if we see here, we have three options from here. I would like to minimize this one. So we have an option called image also will be captured. The accuracy we can change it however we would like to see. If we change the accuracy, the impact is happening in the screen. So usually 80 is the accuracy they have given. So we will be using that image as your accuracy, and fuzzy selector will also be filled. This fuzzy selector accuracy 50%. This is 0 to 1 the accuracy will be. So we can enable selector as well here, and this is how we need to confirm. So before doing that, we can validate. So if we validate, it will also ask for target element, anchor element. So I would like to take home as the anchor for I would like to take ACME as the anchor for this. So would like to validate this if I found any similar kind of selectors for other things. So if it is good, the robot will say that validation successfully. Like this kind of match we won't be having. Like this is the selector, this is the anchor, for this kind of combination we won't be having. So as soon as I finish, so it is, I just took this one into my project, but I did not use this as dependency for the robot object as a object for object repository. So in order to do that, I can click here. So I can, when I click here, it will be jumping onto the object repository. The name client element name also I can name it like however I would like to. I would like to use the same like click on work items. I would like to use click on work items. So these things can be, if you go drop down, is this a screen? It's not. Since it's not a screen, I would like to go with an element. Screen is nothing but our container for us. Okay, I would like to finish this. So whenever we do that one, it will come and will be here. So usually it's not a click action. So I would like to change the title for this, edit descriptor. So this is online edit that we can go with. So I would like to edit element, so you can change the names. This is a selector, actually selector for work queue items, work items, work items. I would like to suffix as. So this is how I would like to give. So I'll keep more margin here. So I have one selector as work items. Then I have top level window. This is the application name. So once I click this one, I would like to grab the text on the screen, like extracting the table data. So in order to go there, it got log out. Let me log in quickly. So we are in work items. I would like to capture the tabular data. So when we click one element, if it found as a tabular, it will be automatically ask us, you wanted to scrape the data, entire tabular data. I will be saying yes, and I am not going for the next pages. I will be finishing it here by saying no here. So this is the extract table. If we go to the properties, earlier there was a top level window called attach browser that we won't be having, because we already have the top level, which is nothing but our screen. So it will be there in the inside. So if you see input methods, same as application browser. So this option will brings to the all the top level criteria to this one as container for this, and we need to create a variable in order to store the data. So since we are not using this data, I'm just creating and leaving. I'm not writing anywhere in the code. Okay, this is how we need to extract the data. So once this happened, we need to come back to the main page. So earlier there was a navigate browser, but now we need to use go to URL. So here I am using to return to the main page. So the main page is nothing but our home here. I'll be taking this URL and will be using as go to URL. So which will brings me to the home page again. So this is happened. I would like to click on couple of things like so I'm gonna take it from the repository again. So I would like to go down, and we usually go with F2 option, which pause selector for 5 seconds. So this also we can configure now. If you wanted to take pause for 10 seconds, we can do this. 9 is the max, I think. So yeah, 9 is the max they have given. Like from 9 to, we can give 1 second. Usually 3 was the one which UiPath has given. So they have configured here, like we can take a decision. So I would like to take 5 seconds, and I clicked 5 seconds. I would like to go down here this way. Okay, I'm gonna click here. So this, yeah, sorry for the interruption. Yeah, it is also a selector. We would like to finish it this here. So more details, I will be creating new project. I will be showing how this can be used in another project. So in order to do that, I'm gonna create a see, this is how we can save selectors in object as an object. So I'm gonna capture now. I'm gonna capture here. So when I start, if we wanted to start, we need to use start recording option, and at the end we can use save to library, which we need to publish. I will be showing the procedure how we need to do that. So when we start this one record, it will ask for the container at first. So you can see on the screen like window it is expecting. So once we give window, it will ask for us to pick elements on the screen. So I'm taking 5 seconds break in order to come to the top. So I'm gonna pick couple of elements, couple of selectors from the screen. So this is my first selector. It will ask me to pick anchor for this. Since I wanted to take all the things, I don't want to go with any anchors, which is also reliable selector. We can go with this, and if I wanted to go with the next element, I can use continue option here, which will continue with the next element. So this is of second element. Again it will wait for the anchor, so I don't want to go with anchor again. So this is how we can capture capture using the record option. So I just wanted to capture all the elements on the screen. So coming to this one selectors, we can rely on these selectors which will be unique selector, like fuzzy selector will be unique, and we also have an image accuracy as well, so which will be pretty accurate. So see, if you notice on the screen, we from here to here we just captured elements, so the same thing will be here as selector. User options, work items, accounts, click, checks, sorry, vendor invoice, internal invoice. So this is how it will be happening. Sorry, this I have taken as anchor. Look, let me stop it here. Okay, so here we can change it as screen or element. If the element, if we are taking object as screen, so we need to change it as screen, and we are continuing with this. Okay, so I just wanted to save so far. So for to do that, we need to use the save option. Immediately it is throwing an error saying that we have application name which will pick automatically, and there is no version here. So at first I would like to say 1.0.0. So, and also this is not looking good, application name is not looking good, so I wanted to change ACME system 1 object repository object, or I will be using. Okay, so with this I would like to save. So all the things will be coming to this page. So testing object repository is one which we used earlier. So now this is the one, ACME system 1 OR is the application name. Then this is the screen for us, and these are the elements, UI elements for us. So earlier we were saying the DOM like tree, right? This is the application as a top level application, and version will be here, and then this is the screen. Below to that we will be having UI elements. So application, version, screen, UI elements. This is the top level criteria for the object DOM tree. So here we have called export UI as export as UI library project. When we do that, it will be saved in one location. This entire DOM tree will be saved in one location. Suppose that we need to publish. So once we publish, only we can use in the UI libraries. So let's go for that states. So here I wanted to export. So once we export, it will ask for a name, like how it wanted to export. So I will be giving a reliable name here. I will be giving system 1 object repositories. So let me see what is the error here. So I can't use this dash here. I will be using underscore instead. Object repository I will be using. Object library I will be using. So would like to save in the E location, E drive. So here I will be creating a folder called nugget ACME library, nugget library. I'll be creating a folder and I'll be saving that inside the folder. So once we create this one, it will show it will show us a pop-up saying that you wanted to open this particular project. So obviously we wanted to open, we need to publish it next moment. So that's the reason we are opening this one. So once it is done, this is the project we published. I am opening the project folder here. So this is how there won't be any main, there won't be anything since it's an object repository. So few things will be there like entities, local objects, like all metadata will be here. So if you go, like you can see similar stuff like how you can see in your regular UiPath, but few things we will miss because it's not project processor thing library. So that's the reason we will not be having those things. So here we need to publish this one again. So I'm gonna publish as version 1.00. So you would like to give custom location, like I would like to uh, nugget library. So we'll be creating a new one here. Testing, I'll be using testing nugget. So would be saving it here inside this folder. So published. So our job is done. We can pull this one to the our repos as a UI library. So in order to see that one, I'm gonna create new process again. So here I would like to say testing objects. Okay, I will be using testing objects. I'm gonna create it. So post it created. Post it created. Again, we need to do all the sort of prerequisites for these things. So mails are not required, Excel is not required, system is required, and also this kind of UI automation also required, which is also latest one. And also I'm just saving it with this. Okay, I'll be showing how library can be bring into this one. And I would like to add modern behavior from the project panel. So here we need to change, we need to reload again. So at first, if you see, libraries are nothing, project descriptors are nothing. So when we come to the left right panel, there is nothing in this position. So I would like to right click here and will be going for the manage packages. So which obviously bring me to here, this page. So I would like to give the path for object demo. So we'll be picking that path for us. The location is testing nugget, I guess. Yeah, this is the location. Would like to save, add. Then I'm coming here. This is the library we published, like ACME system underscore object dot library. So we'll be like installing this one. So post installing, you can see on the screen like what we captured so far, like account, check, internal invoice, user options, vendor, work items. So these all selectors we are having here. So let me open the main page and we'll be creating a sequence here. So as I was telling, these all selectors, and here we can call it as objects. So in place of, if you wanted to use these selectors, we need to bring any relevant activity from the activity panel. So for example, this is of top level container selector. So in order to bring this selector, first of all we need to take relevant activity. So this is the activity we have. So here we can configure from here, and also we can drag this one and keep in here. So that will bring me entire selector. So I didn't do anything, I just wanted to see the selector. So in order to see the selector, again we need to go here. So one more thing I missed to tell you guys, here as a library we can't look or we can't change things. So there is an option called copy here. So see, if you see copy tree we can do. So copy tree we are taking it to the local position, we are doing paste here. So as soon as I do that, entire library will be coming to the my location. Okay, I'll show the difference what will happen. So as a library I will be having limited privileges here. I can highlight, or I can find preference, or I can add to snippet, or copy or paste. So when I comes to the same thing on my local place, I'll be having option more things, like I can even add element in between, or edit element, edit descriptor, anything. Like I got few more options, or delete also we can do. So this is how we can change for our requirements. So these selectors we are using it. So in order to change the selector, if we wanted to change the selector, we need to go here and we need to edit descriptor. So this is the selector. Okay, this selector we can indicate again, or we can manually update it. Like if you wanted to use Firefox, we can change it as Firefox will be updated that way. Okay, so these selectors can be updated manually. Like if you wanted to pass any variables here, we need to use this way. So here we will be passing our variable. So a variable will come and will be placed here, and also we can show the application which we wanted to use. So this is how we can change the selector. So once this is done, so this selector, I would like to click on work items. Okay, this is my requirement. So I'll be using click action here. So from here I can drag the work items and I can drop it here. Okay. So similarly, whatever the selectors, see, sometimes we may have to use type into that, we can use, and we can bring relevant activity from there and we can drop it here. So what it goes this way actually. So these are selectors which we can drag and drop into our UiPath activities. So this is how we can reuse. And in case if the activities objects are changed, we can go in this and we can again sort it out, like extracting and publishing in the same next version, and we can reuse it. We can upgrade our things from here and we can reuse it. So this is how we can do with the object repository. So few things which I missed I will be covering now. So let me quickly go back. Yeah, there is a concept called reuse. So for example, I would like to see, I have a work item here. Okay, since I am not aware like work item here, I will be going a like casual way, which I am not aware object is already there. So I'm gonna click here. So immediately it will ask me. So when I confirm, it will show a alert box saying that there is an already selector in your repository with the same details, like it is in the same screen and with the same selector. You wanted to go with the same, or you would like to go with new one. So which is nothing but our don't reuse. So if we say reuse, that selector will be coming to this place and will be used, or if we say no, the new one which we wanted to keep it here will be there. So obviously if it is identified is nothing but there is nothing difference with this selector and which we already captured as an object, so wanted to reuse. So as soon as we do that, it will be enabled. So I'll be deleting again, I'll be showing you. So at first there is nothing here, it was gray one. So I'm just clicking some element here. See, vendor, I'm clicking here. So it will be happily accepted. When I say okay, it will say this kind of approach I already have in our objects, you wanted to use or not. So at very first instant it was gray. So when I say don't reuse, it will not be changed into color. uh, it's not from the object repository. So I'll do that with using the reusing the concept. So somewhere I'll be using this time checks. I'm confirming. So I'm gonna reuse. So you can see it got changed. Object repository is picked from the descriptors. Okay. So one more thing. See, I will be clicking this one. I also maintain one different thing which is not from the repository. So I'll use this one. I'll show the difference, like on the screen also you can see don't reuse. Okay, so this is with no reuse, it is with use. Okay, if I switch back to the properties, so if you see here, activity is referring an element target properties edited from the object repository, which is nothing but this is linked to something which is nothing but our object repository. So here that option we don't have. See, if you see, there is nothing in the properties, but when I jump quickly to the another one which is already using the object repository, you can see this one. You want it to unlink or you want it to see. Okay, that kind of option we are having here. So for example, so in the entire project we would like to see what and all tagged with our object repository, what are if you wanted to sort all those things, we have an option called find preferences here. So if I click here, all find references will be here. So let me see, find references we'll be having here. Let me go to the here. So when I say find references, all the references which we used so far will be here. So wherever we use this one will be as reflected. So let me show you with this. So checks I used here. So I wanted to see the references. Okay, so this is the checks we used in this position. In sequence, in use application or browser, inside the do we use this one. So this is the one. For this we won't be having any option because it is not tagged to any of the object. So if we see for our accounts we never used, so for that there will be nothing, no results for found kind of things we will be getting in find references. Find references are nothing but our object repository objects were used in our project or not. So let me quickly back to slides so I can cover which I missed. So this is how we can drag and drop selectors from the object repository, and the reliability we can get through based on the anchors and images. And quick wizard will help us to capture all the things, and all the UI actions we can see in the object activities here. So click accounts, so we can see here what and all activities used. So there is no repository for descriptor for these accounts because we did not use the repository. So that is what it says. So UI elements I can manage it from here. See, if I wanted to change things, I can quickly jump on to this one and I can change it. All the elements I can see it here, right? So instead of jumping into the code and doing here and there, so I may use work items couple of more places in the entire code. So if I fix it here, will be reflected in the entire project. So if I wanted to use in the new projects, so I can even publish this as a new version as a library, new library, and I can reuse it. So this is how we can make our job easy. Okay, so key features that is about. So here UI descriptor is containing all things: UI elements, screens, applications, libraries, all things and comes under descriptors only. So UI elements are nothing but our selectors, screens are nothing but top level windows, UI application is nothing but which we wanted to publish, libraries which we use for the across the library projects. So this is the tree which we discussed so far. Like top level is application, then version, then screen, then UI element. So here the locations like local repository or project UI descriptors are nothing but this one. And we also have libraries. If we save it here, we can use it inside the project only. If we publish this one by exporting, will be coming as a dependency here. So it will be across the projects. So then this is how we can create. See, I missed this one, I will be explaining now. So coming to this one here, if we right click, we will be getting options. This one, you wanted to create new screen, or you wanted to edit applications. For example, I will be going here and I will be clicking here. So if you see top level window, this is the project UI descriptor is the top level window. Below to that application and version, and then screen, and then elements. So if I go here, I will be having option to create new application. So I will be saying the same thing. I will be giving new thing called ACME updated. So as soon as I give new thing, so, updated, so will be, you can see on the screen with the two new things. See, if you see, this is ACME one which we used and updated because I have created new application from here. So as we can go this way, and I'm gonna use same name with a different version. Though it will accept. So no. So sorry, I didn't check, but yeah, this will not accept same name application name because it will be collide. So this is how we can create new application. Inside the application, we can also create screens. So as soon as we create screen, we can name the screen like attach browser, we can say. So we can indicate the browser, whatever the browser we would like to. So it will attach the window. It will be give select in this one. This option is nothing but we are not going with the record. We are doing manually like how we do in a regular UiPath process. So this is how we can create screen. So screen got created with inside this one old thing. So the same thing we can do this one as well, like create screen. So screens are nothing but our attached browsers or containers. So inside this we can create elements. Elements are nothing but UI elements with partial or full selectors. So I wanted to say would like to employees I would like to capture here. So we'll be indicating this one. So for this I would like to go with anchor. So we'll be showing this one as anchor. Okay, it must be in the same, it must be on the nearby, which must be on the same thing. So I'm gonna use this as reference. I'm gonna use this as reference as an anchor. There is no yeah, let me validate this for better understanding. So validation successfully, which means to say, for this target, this kind of anchor is a single one which you can't get anywhere else in the entire page. So we can go ahead and use this selector, and we can save it. So if we save, we'll be coming into the picture. Okay. So employees is the one which we created manually. The rest of the things were created using the recorders. So employees which we created now. So this is in order to do this one. This is the procedure for object repository. Hope you guys liked it. So with this I am stopping, and I'll be coming with new topic. Will be posted soon. So we'll be expecting from you guys to contribute for the same, and you guys will be giving a session, I hope so, in soon.